This episode is brought to you by Geno's East of Chicago in Los Angeles. Founded in Chicago in 1966, now over 5 years in Los Angeles, in Sherman Oaks, they use the same recipes and ingredients they do in Chicago. It's like taking a trip to the Windy City without the cold weather. Get the authentic Chicago deep dish and thin crust tavern style pizza, or the great Italian beef and Italian beef Italian sausage combo sandwiches. Plus, there's 12 screens showing Chicago and LA sports. Have a genuine Chicago dog with all the toppings as you watch the Cubs, Sox, Dodgers, and Angels. No ketchup. Now available year-round. Check out the menu at genoseast.com. Lunch specials Monday through Friday until 2 p.m. Happy hour features selected wines and beers for $5 and $6 for food. Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. Geno's East. Great food, great atmosphere, and great people. Sit back and relax. It's time for peanuts, popcorn, and Cracker Jacks. Hey, how's it going? I'm your host, Jeff Santo, and I'm here with my wife, Christie.
Hello, hello. So thank you for being with us during the summer slump.
Summer slump.
That's what I'm calling it.
What's that for?
Well, because we were busy with our prepping
yes.
for our production and
very busy.
And then I always get in a baseball slump.
Yeah, how can you not? Baseball's hard to watch sometimes in this era.
You feel like, it's either they're buying or they're selling, and I just kind of feel like, I don't know. It felt like they're staying on the fence there.
I think the energy disappears in some of the players today. I've never seen slumps last 30 games, and they're lasting for more than one player. I mean, it's crazy to see like the difference between Tucker and PCA versus, when they were on a roll versus now, right?
Yeah.
And it's tough because you're like, when are they going to get better? And they don't. And but hey, we're still there. We're in it. It looks like the 6 teams are in the spots. Like we have the top wild card, but thought maybe we'd go for the division, but not anymore.
Anyway, so we're back, and thank you to everyone who voted for us in America's Favorite Couple competition.
Yeah.
We got close.
We were up for a wild card at the end, and just didn't quite hit the pitches.
Yeah.
Gotten a little bit of a slump.
We did.
No,
but
no.
It was fun while it lasted. It was nice.
Was it?
It was. I enjoyed.
You enjoyed it very much.
Photos I have in my photo album here of all the cute photos we got of each other, and it was just nice to celebrate our love. Anyways,
there you go.
So moving on.
I second that.
Thank you to everyone. That was really fun. Okay, so I want to talk about this potential MLB realignment that's being in discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, we're years away from it happening.
Years away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Yeah. But it's interesting, so just to tell everybody if they haven't heard about it, they're thinking about adding at least 2 new teams, and then doing like a realignment of the divisions, so that the divisions will be split up. So the West Coast, it limits travel. Yeah,
it keeps it more Midwest, East Coast, West Coast kind of thing, Southern states. I'm at a point now with this realignment or whatever they're trying to do. They might have to shorten the season because these guys can't play 162 games. They can't. There's like a handful of players that can actually get through 162 games and be consistent.
Well, maybe they need this in order to figure out that that's the issue. Because maybe they're thinking, it's the travel. We'll just cut down on the travel.
Oh, it's more than that. It's called the weak mind. Psychologically, these guys don't have the same endurance of the players of the old.
Do you think all the players of the old had that endurance?
Yes, they had to. Their lives had more endurance in them, meaning where they came from, it wasn't so structured into, I played baseball since I was 8 and go to this camp and summer thing and blah, blah, blah. They actually played a lot of different sports, had to carry their own water per se, as far as just like hanging out on the street and becoming a decent adult. Now, I don't know. I watch baseball right now. As you could tell in my voice, I'm a little frustrated because I'm watching the Cubs, and Horton had a no-hitter, and they take him out after 5. And then they say, well, they're saving him for the playoffs. It's like, what is going on? I mean, the Dodgers just did it too. We're never going to see a no-hitter again. We're never going to see these exciting moments in baseball that we loved growing up watching. And I just feel like the managers are just stopping the play and stopping the development of these players to see what they can actually get through in a tough spot.
I know. We can harp all we want about the stupid analytics that are ruining the game. I mean, there's some positives to it, but you have to, just like you're learning how to use AI, you have to know, you have to be the person in the vehicle that is driving the car, you know, even though it's like an AI. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I kind of do.
These managers are not driving the car. They need to like take authority and say, hey, this is when I need to take over, and AI or statistics can take a back seat.
Well, I think that we all really don't know. Like behind the scenes, we used to know that the manager called the shots. I don't think they are anymore. I don't think they're making the lineups, because if they are, boy, they're horrible. And I feel like there's just some power above them, the general manager, president, who knows, of the team, that are dictating what the lineup is and who to sit and who to play. So I feel like they're not in a certain spot. Like my dad played, and guys after my dad, they knew what spot in the order they were batting. They knew they were playing every day. You couldn't take them out of the lineup. Now I get it. You should have had some more days off back then, maybe. But watching the game today, I don't think literally 162. This used to be a game, and we're talking about realignment, where it used to be before 1969. It was just the American League and the National League. The winner of each play in the World Series. Then in 69, they brought in the divisions, and that's when the Cubs had a great year, and they were winning that division until the Mets took it over. But
so it was a good thing at that time for your family, although it didn't work out that way. But
it was a good thing for baseball, because I think you needed to. But then now you got 6 teams going in now in each league.
Well, let's look at it. So the division, according to the realignment theory that's right now, is that it would be Cubs, Sox, Reds, Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a funky division. And
it would help taking the Brewers out.
Yeah, I help whatever. It's everything changes. The Brewers aren't going to stay hot when we do that. So it could be the White Sox could be good again by then. You don't know. All I'm saying, when it comes to that, it's like they're trying different things, but I think baseball should have 2 halves now, because it's not a long-term game. When you had just the American League and the National League, it was, okay, you got to play 162 and have the best record to get there, right? So they were focused on endurance. Psychologically, how do we get there? Now, I don't think they are. I don't think in the minor leagues they're ready. I believe the pitchers, I mean, you're starting to see people get Tommy John surgery all the time now. It's almost kind of like it's strengthening, conditioning for the arm. Get a Tommy John surgery, get off a year, get paid, and then you're even stronger than before.
Oh my God! I'm just had a glimpse of the future with all the bionics and the.
You just don't know.
We don't know where the future is going to go.
But you're getting these guys can throw 100 miles an hour, but can they last a whole season? You know, that's the difference now, and I just think that they're not built that way anymore. And maybe you got to put the season into halves and maybe shorten it, because baseball's a different game, and I'm hearing that. I see it. I feel it. So I know people that are like me, or that understand the game. I'm not saying people don't understand the game.
Well, a lot of people go to baseball and they don't understand the game. There's a lot of just socializing that happens just there at the game, that people just don't even understand the nuances of what is really happening there between the pitcher and the batter. And
yeah, but I mean, anyway, the people that understand baseball and have been watching it their whole lives, it's a different game today, and even the players of old have a hard time watching it today, because
that's true. That's true.
It just is
a hard time watching it. But I just want to like go off on this other tangent as far as like people understanding the game, because I watched football my whole life, and football's back obviously now, and so it's like I'm watching it, and I just thought about it. I don't even understand the nuances of football, and yet I have been a fan my whole life, and I'm sure there are people that are like that with baseball.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah. So, but anyway, we should have an exciting maybe playoffs and World Series because that always does become something different than the season.
Just enough to keep your hope.
Yeah, I guess. But there's no one team that we're going to go, oh, they're going to take over in the playoffs. So the Cubs have a shot if everyone gets hot then. It's about that team getting hot during the right time.
Yeah.
That's really it right now in baseball.
Well, and that's an endurance sport. So if you look at like something like, what's that one where they run, they bike, they swim, the whole thing.
The decathlon?
The decathlon. It's the decathlon of sports. When you think about it.
Baseball?
Baseball.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, and it's starting to wear on a lot of people. I'm feeling it. So they have to do something. There seems like a bubble's going to burst here, something, because you can't pay Tucker $400 million next year. Another team pays him that. I know the Cubs won't, but that guy's not a $400 million ball player. And hey, I like Tucker, but you just see the kind of ball player today. They will stop hitting for a good period of time, and then they're back again, and then they stop. Like literally, they're a different human being up at the plate. Am I being negative here? Because I sound like I am.
I don't think you're alone.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we got a great show. Sean Murray, my special guest, he's a composer, and he's a composer for our Wild Ones independent film. Can't wait for you to hear his family story, his Hollywood story. Just a great guy, and so happy to have him as our composer, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to crackerjack call Nick Nicholson, dear friend of mine. It's been a long time since we've talked. Country and Western singer, just a great guy. So
yeah, he was featured in our Off the Boulevard documentary.
He was.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Hans Christian Andersen said, "Where words fail, music speaks." At Joey's Song, we believe truer words were never spoken. Our mission at Joey's Song is to raise money to fund the desperately needed research to find treatments and cures for the devastating and intractable epilepsies that are robbing futures and taking lives. Between 50 and 65 million people worldwide have epilepsy, and 1/3 of those folks, approximately 20 million, cannot find relief from their seizures through any known treatments or surgery. Joey's Song is dedicated to and in the memory of Joey Gamal, who died in 2010, just shy of his 5th birthday after battling a rare form of epilepsy his entire life. Every year, Joey's Song brings together Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Grammy and Emmy winners, and top 40 hitmakers for a series of one-of-a-kind concerts that have helped us be a part of over $1.75 million raised over the last decade. Artists from bands like Cheap Trick, the Bangles, the Go-Go's, Garbage, the Goo Goo Dolls, Toto, and countless others all help us give hope to the families fighting epilepsy today. To find out more about Joey's Song and stay up to date on our next one-of-a-kind show, visit joeysong.org and join our mailing list, or follow us on the social media channels of your choice. Thanks for your time, and thanks for supporting Joey's Song, and thanks for listening to Peanuts, Popcorn, and Cracker Jacks.
My special guest is live in the Sano Films podcast studio in beautiful Burbank, California here. He is our composer for our indie film Wild Ones. He's Sean Murray, no relation to the Murray brothers, but he is part of Hollywood royalty. His father, Don Murray, earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor playing opposite Marilyn Monroe in Bus Stop, 1956. And his mother, Betty Johnson, was also an actress and a famous print model in the 1950s and 60s. Man, Sean, great to have you. You had to have a very interesting childhood.
Thanks, Jeff. It's a pleasure being on here with you. Yeah, it was a really interesting childhood growing up around the film business. And when I was very young, my dad would take me to the movie sets. So it was very exciting as a child.
Wow, man, did you start acting like in grade school, or did you get into that?
No, I mean, I did plays when I was in high school, and I did acting classes, and so I just studied in high school, but I never had a desire to be an actor.
Really?
That my older brother, my younger brother, my sister were all getting into acting. My other sister was a model, and I just was passionate about music from the time I was, very young, 7 years old. And when I heard the Beatles 65 album, when I was about 7 years old, I decided, hey, I want to write music. I want to be a rock star.
Wow, man.
And so I went the music route. I started playing guitar lessons when I was 7, started piano lessons around the same time. And we had a nice grand piano at the house. So I was always playing that from the time I was very young, just playing by ear.
Did your dad play?
No, but my mom played piano.
Oh, she did?
A little bit, not great.
Okay.
I mean, she really never studied too much, but she picked it up by ear herself. But it was nice having the piano there when I was young. So I started learning how to read around that time too.
Wow,
so
man.
We had all of these like songs of the 60s that I learned on the piano. It was really fun and exciting.
Now, the acting thing, was it because, obviously, my dad was a ball player and I wanted to be a ball player.
Yeah.
That never came into your mind? Like, I kind of want to follow what my dad's doing?
Nope.
Not at all?
No.
Did it turn you the other way a little bit?
No, not at all. I mean, I love the process. I love being on set. I love the Western sets at Warner Brothers Studios, where that was the first time I ever went to a set when my dad was doing The Outcast with Otis Young. And, just being around that and the excitement of the camera crews, the lighting, the facades on the sets. I just love being around that. And I love watching my dad work because he was such a good actor. And he was so nice to all the people on the set. He would treat the guys in the crew the same that he would, the other stars or the director or whatever. So it's just really fun to be around his good vibe.
God, that's cool, man. Now, your dad, did he prepare a lot at home? What was his process growing up being a son of an actor?
Yeah, we'd always see him running lines in the mirror. And if I went down, when we moved to Santa Barbara when I was 12, he would take me down to the set of Knots Landing. And he would run lines with me, give me the script, and so he could just practice on the way down. That was fun. I felt like, hey, I'm helping the process along here a little bit.
That's cool. Yeah. You told me, your dad was the star in the Planet of the Apes, The Conquest. What was the title of
Conquest, Planet of the Apes.
1972. That was a big movie. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And he played the villain, basically. Talk about that. That was such an interesting story you told me.
Yeah, Governor Breck. So Governor Breck is the dictatorial governor of this futuristic world. It was shot in Century City. When he prepared for that role, my father speaks fluent German and Italian. So he learned all of his lines first from the top in German. And he did that to, get the attitude of a dictator.
Huh.
So, and we know what dictator that is.
We do.
El numero uno dictator.
Yeah. You got that right.
But so he would do his lines in German, and I'd hear him in the bedroom, ein liebes deutsches Mädel muss immer ein gut amerikanische Bubbe haben. I don't know. That's the only German line I know. But you'd hear him yelling, and it scared the shit out of me. But I'm like, wow, Dad, you're kind of nuts, but that's cool. What are you doing? Well, I'm just trying to get the cadence and the feel of how I want this character to be portrayed. And he really nailed it. I mean, that's one of his fans' favorite films.
Yeah.
It really is. Because it's the Planet of the Apes, the original 5.
Oh, it's a great one. Yeah, man.
And of course, you got Roddy McDowall, Ricardo Montalban in that. And it was just a terrific cast. But it was interesting. That was the 4th one in the series, and 20th Century Fox really cut the budget on them. And the whole budget for that movie for 72 was like $2 million.
That's crazy.
But they saved so much money because they used the new town of Century City. The back lot was sold off, and because of Cleopatra destroyed 20th Century Fox because it cost $45 million and totally lost. They lost their shirt on that one.
Right.
And had to sell the back lot. And that's where Century City sprung up from. So, yeah, $2 million budget.
That's just crazy like this.
So, yeah, they saved a lot on locations because it was all there, and I think they worked out a free deal. But it was an exciting location, too, because it was so futuristic with the Twin Towers there.
How long does it take to shoot something like that back then?
Oh, God, we're back in the days of setting up complicated shots, and everything's 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
And, big lighting crews. I mean, I'm sure they spent at least 30 days on that.
Well, that's not bad. I mean, still, you would think maybe months, but no, okay.
It was really exciting going to the set because I got to watch Roddy McDowall have his makeup applied. And, he'd be sitting there smoking a cigarette with his monkey, with his monkey makeup on. But it was exciting as a 7-year-old kid.
Yeah,
to be around that. And they had the orangutan guy, Dr. Zayas, but it wasn't Zayas in this one. But seeing the different makeup they applied for the gorilla makeup, the orangutan makeup, and the chimpanzee makeup was all very different kind of molds.
Right.
So it was fascinating as a child to see that.
That is fascinating, man. The world you grew up in. I mean, it's similar to, I grew up in a baseball world like that, and you're in the inside, right? And you're just seeing how it's done. That had to be fascinating for you. And how did composing come into your life?
My dad was doing a movie in Hawaii, and we went out and lived there for 6 months on Oahu. And it was about the Father Damien, the leper priest. So interesting to be in Hawaii for 6 months back in 1975.
Right.
So when we came back we were living in New York at the time in Long Island. So my dad would go in to the city to meet with the composer. And I think it was the composer's first film, Brad Fidel.
Is this your dad? Is your dad directing?
Yeah, he directed as well.
Oh, okay.
He didn't play in this one at all. He was a producer director.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he'd go into the city and he'd come back with audio cassettes of what the composer Brad Fidel, who went on to do Terminator and True Lies and
Holy moly.
A lot of big films.
Where was he at the time? Was he had to be a young guy fresh out of school?
Fresh out of NYU.
Oh, man.
And so, yeah, my dad gave him his first gig. And from that, his second gig, Brad Fidel's, was Deadly Hero, which my dad starred in with Treat Williams. So he was coming back from the city. He would bring the cassette tapes of the mock-ups of what they would eventually do with a small orchestra. And the mock-ups were done on the Moog synthesizer. And I said, Dad, what did he use? He uses a Moog synthesizer. So, wow, that's cool. I love that sound. And I said, so I learned all of the themes that he had on the piano. And I would sit there and, just play the main theme over and over again. And I said, Dad, can you get me a Moog synthesizer? I want to write music for movies. This is cool. So I was 10 years old.
10 years old.
Yep.
Holy cow.
That was where my interest was born. But I also loved the scores, watching my dad's films all the time on the $1 Million Movie back then on
What's the
on
one
TV.
thing like you pick up in a score like at that age that fascinates you?
Oh, just the excitement, the scope, the energy that would bring, the romance of the music or the danger of the music, all of the different moods that create the ambience and drive the movie. So I picked up on that, from a young age. And since I wanted to be a musician and a rock star and all of that stuff, that was, an exciting part of my musical awareness, I guess.
Did your dad help you at all, guide you, knowing that you like to do that? And
yeah. So I had rock bands all through junior high and high school. And
were you the lead singer?
Yeah.
You
lead
were?
singer, guitar,
shit.
songwriter.
Oh, you had it going, man.
Yeah. So my dad
like to hang out in your posse.
Yeah. You know what? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had some good guys.
I bet you did, man. You're a cool guy.
Yeah. One of my bandmates was Dirk Shoemaker of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Oh, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
Glenn Marhefka did our original song, wrote the music. Christie did the lyrics. You came out to it, and that's our original song. And you're going to take elements of that. We'll talk a little bit later about that. But cool, man. He was part of your group.
He was in my band called Ozone.
Ozone,
which was all the environmental topic of the time. The ozone.
Oh yeah, the ozone layer.
But anyway, so I was in the rock and roll thing, but I always had film composing in the back of my mind. So I got an opportunity through the film school up there. It's called Brooks Institute of Technology.
Oh, yeah.
They had a film department as well as just straight photographic department. An amazing school. So the students needed to have original scores for their student films, these short films. So I got into that through Ian Bernard, who was a friend of my dad's, and he was the head of the film school. And he liked my work, some of my original material, and I had done some, early synthesizer film scores sort of thing. So I got a shot at doing student films. And it was great at that time because these kids, they paid a lot of money to go to that school. They had to give me $2,000 a pop for these short films.
Oh, wow.
$2,000 a pop at 16.
Yes.
At 16 years old.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I didn't need a paper route.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So I started doing those on a regular basis. And a lot of the kids came to me and I think by the time I was 19, I racked up about 60, 70 short films.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
You were a busy guy.
Yeah.
In high school. So you had a band and you're composing.
Yep.
You're kind of like the guy, instead of, selling drugs, you're selling, riffs and good tracks.
Yeah, but I grew my own weed and I gave my friends a really good deal on it. No.
I bet you did.
I actually grew a lot of weed on the estate next door to the house. And
God.
And it was called the Bacon Estate. And eventually, when I had about 25 plants growing there, and of course, some of the other kids in the hood found my weed and stole it all. But that estate ended up becoming Oprah Winfrey's estate.
Oh, wow.
So I can say I grew weed on Oprah's estate.
There you go. Perfect.
No, I was not dealing weed.
Now, so when you're talking about you did 60 shorts, were any of those filmmakers that went on to become something?
No. Unfortunately, I think it's a good route for people today.
Yeah.
If you want to start, my advice for anyone trying to get into film is to get in with a film school and start doing short films, student films. And you might get lucky and get what's the guy? Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Who did.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, back then it seemed like more of those guys were coming up to, that's the Tarantino time too. And we kind of came up in that. I came out here in '94. I mean, those guys were rocking and rolling. Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, so you could get lucky with somebody like that, but more importantly is learning the skill, learning how to write for film and write fast. And so that's what I developed then.
And how did you jump to the big boys?
Well, I got my first feature film when I was 19, and it was a film called Scorpion, and my father was starring in it.
Holy cow.
And he kept pestering the producer and said, "You got to listen to Sean's music." And I went to the set and I met the producer and director. And he said to Don, "Your kid? Nah, I got to get a pro." And he said, "Go ahead, come on, just listen to a tape of his material." So he kept pestering him, and Bill Reed listened to some of my stuff. He said, "The kid's not bad." So we ended up talking a lot about the score. If I were going to hire you, what would you do? And I said, "Well, I really like what's happening with Miami Vice right now. And, with the heavy synthesizer-based score. and it's really got a modern feel. I think we should do something like this since it's an action film. And so he ended up hiring me. So
Holy cow, at 19.
yeah. And my fee was $10,000, and this is 1985. So that was a decent amount of money.
Yeah, I'd
for
say
85. But I spent it all on an emulator 2 for $8,500. That's a sampling synthesizer. Spent 85 on that, and another $1,500 on a digital reverb. So,
and then you went on to the next one. What came after that?
The next film I did after that was called Devil's Playground. And then it really started picking up. I did a few more really low budget things, but it really started picking up with a film I did called Ocean Tribe back in 95. So yeah, I really was kind of split between doing my band and the film work from 85 to 95. And then back around 90, I started focusing solely on working for film. And that's when I got into writing for soap operas. I was doing As the World Turns, Another World, and Guiding Light. So I did that for about 4 years.
How was that experience?
Really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, had to write a lot real fast.
Yeah.
And, that was a really great, again, learning experience. That was,
Did you come out here to LA then? Were you permanent out here?
I moved back down to Santa Barbara, from Santa Barbara to LA in 91.
In 91? And you've been here ever since?
Yeah, ever since.
Great. And what was who were you hanging around with? Did you guys grow up with similar guys in the, sons of actors and directors and producers?
Yeah, there was Josh Brolin. Hung out with him a little bit in high school.
Was he acting then?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah, in high school he got his first film, and it was called Rad. It was a skateboard movie. And you can actually find that, as a streamer right now.
Wow.
It's kind of fun. I believe that was his first film. He may have done something else.
Because it almost seems like he really hit it later on.
Well, no, I mean, he out of the Goonies. He was in Goonies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he hit it right out of high school, during high school. So
wow.
But yeah, my dad's friends were like Bo Derek, John Derek.
Bo Derek.
Richard Whitmark was a really good friend of his from up there. He had Stu Whitman, the great Western actor. He had Jonathan Winters up there. That was a friend of my dad.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, when he came to parties, everyone just could not stop laughing. He had everybody in stitches.
Oh, we all watched him as kids, man, right? That's amazing.
Yeah. Bo was great. I ended up years later getting her a lead role in a film.
I thought you were going to say something else. I'm kidding. We all were in love with Bo Derek, right?
Yeah.
When she came out with that movie.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
So, funny movie too, man. So
that was fun. She got to go to Barcelona and be around her beloved Andalusian horses out there, and went to the bullfights. It was a movie called Crusader.
And I was, your mom too. We would talk a little bit about her, because it seems like you got influenced by both of them, right? They were both in the business. They were both working.
Yeah.
Probably out of the house a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and so talk about your mom's career a little bit too.
Yeah. So I'll tell you how my parents met. It's kind of funny. My dad was married to Hope Lang first, and I have a brother and sister, Chris and Patricia from Hope. And they got married in 56, right after Bus Stop, which they were both in Bus Stop. She played a smaller role. Right. But anyway, so they got divorced in the late 50s. And my dad was in New York with a pal of his who was a big publicity agent, and he was married to a top model. And he said, Don, look through any magazine, McCall's, Vogue. I know Cindy knows all of the other models. If you want to meet somebody, just pick out some girls. So he went through and he picked out like 6 pictures, and he showed them to Mr. Wood. And he said, Don, this is Cindy's best friend. 5 of them are. The sixth one, I don't know who it was. I'd like to know who the sixth was, but 5 out of the 6 were Betty Johnson, Cindy's best friend. Wow. So he said, Don, I'll introduce you. And he did. And
they hit it off.
They hit it off and got married. But at that time, that when they were dating, my dad was doing a movie called Advise and Consent with Henry Fonda. Great political drama. And so she just had a quick little scene coming out of a senator's office implying she was a prostitute. Wow. And she looked beautiful in it. So it was just a tiny little cameo thing. So
that's amazing how they met. So that's how they met. And
that's how they met.
And they stayed together until
until my dad died last year at 94.
94, man.
Yeah.
Just last year.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yep. Good long life. 94 years old. He died in his bed in his beautiful home in Santa Barbara. So
that's beautiful, man. And it sounds, just by getting to know you, man, it sounds like you had a really cool relationship with him.
Yeah.
And
he's a great guy.
Yeah. That's
very encouraging and supportive of all of his kids.
That is great, man.
He always thought that we'd be successful.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great outlook to have, man, right?
Yeah. My older brother, younger brother, they wanted to be actors, and he always encouraged that. And me wanting to be a musician, he totally supported and encouraged that.
How far did you go with your band?
Oh, nowhere.
No?
Oh, no, we did.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Of course, my dad, trying to help me out every way he could, he wrote a couple of episodes for season 2 of Knots Landing, and he directed them. And it was a 2-part series, 2-part show in the series. And so he wrote into the show, both shows, a scene for a band, a high school band, because one of the main characters was in high school. And so I got to be on Knots Landing, and I wrote original songs for it. And we recorded at CBS Studios. It was amazing. And it was so cool. They even gave me my own publishing on that, which is rare.
Great.
Yeah, so
and your band's actually in the show?
Yeah, the band's in the show.
And where is the band today? You like you said, one's a big bad voodoo daddy.
And he was the one that had the one of the most successful, but my drummer as well had a successful band. And he's still playing. That's what he does. He teaches drums now. He became a very wealthy business entrepreneur, had a pharmaceutical company, and just a brilliant guy, Harvard, Oxford. Stephen Cass, he lives in Arundel, England right now, and he teaches drums and gigs all the time. So he made all of his money, and he just does what he loves.
Oh, that's great, man. And you're doing what you love. I could tell just meeting you. I'm so fortunate. Our cinematographer, Richard Crudo, said, "Hey, man, you guys are looking for a composer. I got a guy in mind for you." And he said your name. I said, "Here's his number. Give him a call." And just glad that I got your number, man. And we hit it off. And very excited to have you doing our score for our noir type of feel. And because you're great with suspense, you're great with thrillers. I just love the pace of your scores, man. And they just had they didn't interfere. It just felt so smooth and like moved you along. What's your process like? Do you start with the script in your mind and then wait for the picture to lock? Does it change much from that?
You know what? Sometimes I'll read a script. Sometimes I won't. I'll get a rough cut, start getting ideas, start working with the director about concepts of a musical direction. And so we have a lot of conversation beforehand. I'll listen to examples of some of the stuff they have. They always put a temp score on, but I rarely listen to a temp score, but because there's, usually strong ideas from the directors beforehand. Mm-hmm. But so I might start writing on a rough cut depending on how quick the post schedule is. I don't like to do that as much because it always ends up getting chopped up, and a lot of your pieces, you have to edit or lose entirely. So I like ideally just working on a totally locked cut, approved from the studio, approved from the producers. And then I just start working. Usually I'll start with the hardest scene first, just to get my feet wet.
And what's that usually for you? A climax?
Maybe not a climax,
Okay.
but like a big action scene.
Yeah.
I might want to hit that first, or an emotional scene, some kind of, sometimes a climax. But usually what happens when you start in the middle of the movie and do a few cuts and you start to get a feel for it, themes start to emerge and develop. And most of the time, my main titles will come from cues that I've written within the, the breadth of the, within the body of the film. So that's a great way to get thematic material to work on. Sometimes I'll start right with the main title and go with a main title theme. So one of my favorite main title themes was very specific of what the director wanted. And it's a film called Avengement with Scott Adkins. And boy, that seems to really, the fans just love it.
What was it about? So how did you come up with that title sequence?
The main title sequence, it was based on some of the 60s music that my director really likes. So it kind of had that sort of instrumentation, with a harpsichord and, pizzicato strings. So I was really able to nail the vibe that he was looking for. And that's become one of my fans of my work, one of their favorite themes. It's got, I don't know, millions and millions, 11 million
Right on.
views on YouTube at least. The one, who knows?
Yeah.
There's millions and millions of views of it. So that was specifically, I started with that one, the main title. But I like to usually go for a hard scene. And then sometimes if I just need to get started, I'll pick a short scene and do a light, something light just to get the juices flowing.
Now, have there been films where there's a lot of source music in there that you have to kind of navigate around? Or is it usually when you're hired, it's a dominant score?
Usually it's dominant score.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done any films with, like a Tarantino thing.
Yeah. How would you do something like that? Does that seem difficult to do that when they have that much source music in their films?
You know what, Jeff? Not really, because you'll look at it and you understand what the director's trying to do with that song and why it works for the scene. But that's really not going to influence what your score is. That's usually a very different entity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like our film, Wild Ones, that's why when I saw your stuff, I'm like, oh, this is our guy, because we are dominant score. And I love that. We got one original song at the end that we just recorded that you were there at. Mm-hmm. And the score, now ours isn't so action generated. No. There are moments in there.
Yeah, you got some good fight scenes. And,
a few. Yeah. But they're intimate, right? It's an intimate road drama. Two characters, basically, with characters they meet along the road on their journey. But we have that sense. We got that intensity. We got that mystery. Yeah. And I just can't wait for, you to get at it, man. I can't wait for that part of it.
I got ideas on that one so far. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And where would you start? You probably would start you'd find an emotional scene, or what do you look?
You know what? On this one, since your wife Christie is directing and editing, I'm going to want to be in on the edit with her, because the edit really kind of conducts the pace and influences what I write. So from the beginning, as she's editing, I'm going to get ideas and that feel for her flow. And I kind of told her the other day that it's almost like the editor's the conductor of the score, and the director is, another, the director is pushing the music. But I really feel that the time and pacing influences the score a lot. So. The edit, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, this is going to be great, because I'll have a lot of time to think about it beforehand and start sketching out stuff. And this one I could even start working on with a rough cut, because I'm I really want to nail this project. So I want to get good and juiced up before I get to the final cut.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. And you already got a taste because you've been involved in a few things.
Yeah.
So that's the way. And so our podcast now, we have a lot of baseball players on and entertainers too in the film business. But now I'm bringing like the people involved in Wild Ones. So,
yeah, this is great.
I had Richard on, and now I have
you
and different pieces as we go along here. So it's just very excited about this film, Sean, and the talent that we have that have come on to help us bring this to fruition is just, I'm so excited. This to me is like my World Series of films in my independent film life.
Yeah, this is the big one for you.
This is the big one, man, because and I'm playing the lead, one of the leads, and but it's everything like my path and Christie's path have led to, and together we're collaborating on this, and it's our film. A lot of the other films I've done were my dad's film and Sonny's film. This is our piece. And
this is your focus.
Yep, it is.
And you've got a very, very thick and powerful role in this one. So it's gonna be good, really good work for you.
Thank you, man. And tell me a little bit about some of you've also gone into video games. How'd you stretch out into that?
Oh, it's funny how I got into video games. I had been doing the season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I've done a lot of TV work. I did a Showtime series called Women Stories of Passion. I did, these were series, The Savage Dragon. And so I was working on some action movies at the time, early 2000s. And my brother-in-law was working on a video game for Luxoflux, which later was bought by Activision. And he said it was like this kung fu video game. And I thought, what is this, like a little Game Boy thing? I didn't think much about it. But anyway, he brought me down to the studio over where Activision is. And he showed me what they were doing. I said, oh, my God, this is like a movie. This is cinematic. This is not your daddy's Game Boy. This is intense. This is high tech. My God, they mapped out like hundreds of square miles of Los Angeles because it's a driving game and a kung fu action game and a mystery and a crime game. And I was like blown away. And he told me they were looking for a composer. So would you want to meet with the creator? So I met with the creator, Peter, and had a great conversation, great meeting. So what they did is they had like 3 or 4 people do a couple of cinematic scenes, which is the movie part of the game. True Crime, Streets of LA was the game. So I did a couple of scenes for them, and other composers did, and he was very democratic. He had all of his artists and people, the top people in the game, everybody involved, vote on who they wanted to do the score. And so they picked me for that, which was great. So that led on to another game for Activision. Activision then bought Luxoflux, and we did True Crime New York City. And, it had Larry Fishburne in it and some, Christopher Walken, really, really great actors in these games. And from there, some of the sound guys brought me on to, got me the Call of Duty series.
That's huge.
Call of Duty World at War, which was tremendously successful.
Yeah.
And from that, I went on to do Call of Duty Black Ops, which was one of the biggest video games in history.
Right.
At that, I think they made like $2 billion. It was $2 billion in 10 weeks at that time. It's amazing.
You get royalties on video games?
No, but my royalties on that are basically the soundtrack album, which sold, oh my God, over 1 million, I think.
Right on, man. So there you go. So is that, are a lot of composers going into video games because composers, you know what? There's no back end on it, so you don't get any. Oh, there isn't?
No. there's no back end other than a soundtrack album. But you paid well for the work for hire.
Mm-hmm.
And when they have the money to, use orchestras, it's amazing to be able to have that experience, to have, quite a budget for your orchestral score.
Yeah, and do you use musicians most of the time?
Oh, yeah. On my scores, if I'm not doing an orchestral work, if the budget doesn't allow for it, I'm always bringing in string players, brass players, woodwind players, ethnic flute players. I use them a lot. So I have a good crew of people that I bring in on most of my soundtracks.
And for ours, you're gonna bring in a few on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in Glenn the Kid.
Yeah, Glenn the Kid for sure.
From Big Bad. I'm gonna have him play some trumpet on it since we're doing a film noir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Dirk Shoemaker from Big Bad play stand-up bass and maybe electric bass on it too. I think we'll do both. And I'll have my my flute player, do something very interesting for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And my cellist for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, and let's talk about like the state of Hollywood right now. You've been around for a while. Obviously you're born into it. What do you think where we are right now in Hollywood with, indies, mid-level movies? Have they suffered lately?
Oh, yeah. I mean, L.A. has been just wrecked. And it started, my God, 20 years ago when you had that writer's strike in 2005. I mean, that just really hurt the economy. You had restaurants closing back then. So that was the first time I really started feeling a downturn. But at that time, I was doing so many movies for a company called Dream Team with Sony. And they were out of Barcelona. So I didn't really realize, the impact too much at that time. But the writer's strike really dug into production for sure. And then the strikes over the last several years from the pandemic and then, the actor strike, the writer's strike, and then, of course, we had the IATSE. They struck as well, or did they make a deal? I don't know.
Everyone seemed to be striking. Yeah.
But you've got all these tax incentives to go to other states, and that's really sucked the industry away from Los Angeles. And it's a shame because most actors would love to just, go down to Warner Brothers or shoot on the streets of LA and go and sleep in their own beds. So the tax incentives from Georgia, now from Texas, and you got
New Mexico. But you're right. We would love to stay here.
Yeah.
It's got great terrain, the desert, everything you can do, but it's overpriced.
And and especially for indies on a, smaller budgets. That's why people are going to right to work states. So they save money. I want all those people to be working here on big budgets in Los Angeles, but they keep going overseas.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson said, I could shoot for 5 days or a week in, Europe, whereas, that 5 days is 1 day here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, right.
So, I've done some great films that were shot in Hungary, Spain, a lot of films I did. Some of the films I did back in the early 2000s were all shot in Romania. That was the big one. So the thing that filmmakers should hope for now is just to keep it in America, at least in one of the states that can be competitive with the tax breaks you get from going overseas.
Is there ever you think the hub's going to come back to LA? I mean, obviously the studios here, it seems like they're gearing up right down the block here. Warner Brothers seems like they're adding a bunch of new studios.
You got those huge new sound stages.
Yeah.
Over there at Warner Brothers, the old back lot. Then you have the huge new sound stages at Universal that are massive. They look amazing. So that's encouraging to see. If they're investing those kind of billions of dollars, that means that they got production. And then you're always going to have your big Hollywood productions, your Warner Brothers and the Marvel movies, all of those.
But what about those mid-level movies that supported the indies too, because if you lose that middle class of Hollywood, kind of like society, everything starts to kind of die. Except you got the rich, the chasm of the big movies versus the small is so large.
You got the competition from the other states. Now, I did see something encouraging this week about the Los Angeles, the California tax incentives.
Yeah, they're working on them.
Yeah, so that's starting to look like it could be, something that could keep people production.
But it's a lottery,
here in LA.
though. You know what I mean? It's a lottery. So you hope, but do you see a brighter future ahead? I think with all the build and everything.
Yeah, I would like to see more of it just staying in the United States.
Yeah, I almost think they got to restructure too for indies. You know what I mean? Because it is hard to whatever filmmakers that has written a good script. It's been years to get there.
Yeah,
and then to raise the money and all the capital that you need, and that should be, and the talent is the one that pushes that forward, and getting a good cinematographer, the right people in place, the composer. Those are the elements for me of making a good independent.
Yeah.
Get a good group of actors that fit the parts, the composer, the DP, the director, editor, the vision, and then everything should fall in line with that.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's a little opposite sometimes for independent films. It's a harder road because, it's a 19-day shoot maybe on some of these independent. Could be less, could be a little more.
Yeah.
But it's also, people are looking for their next movie, the crew, right? So once you're done with shooting, they're gone, and you're on to post, and you're on to getting this thing sold. It's your responsibility as that filmmaker to push it all the way to the finish line, and it just needs a little bit more support on that end. I'm knowing, I think more filmmakers are seeing that. I hope the younger generation seeing that, because that's where the focus needs to be. If you're in this business, you got to be loving to be in this business, or don't be in it.
Yeah, exactly.
On all parts, crew and whatever, because you can feel the change in that.
Yeah.
You hear me talking.
Well, what I've got projects coming up, so that's good. I'm not worried that I'm going to be out of work for a year or so.
Right.
So I've been fortunate in that regard. But yeah, maybe we'll see an uptick here.
Yeah.
And again, it's to keep it in California, it's got to be competitive with Texas,
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And
Perfect.
New Mexico.
Yep.
You need that 28 to 35% tax credit, or upfront payment
to help offset the investment.
Exactly.
Totally have to, for sure. And I hope they bring back too, like the dollar for dollar write-off of $15 million and under, which still exists, but they got to renew that next year.
Yeah.
So things like that I look for to help pushing forward, because independent filmmakers need that. So, and you got a good story, man. I want to end it with, you live a little bit up in the Hollywood Hills and made your mark, and the greatest actor ever lived a little bit above you.
Yeah. You had Marlon Brando, who lived up pretty close by off of Mulholland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a good story you got to share with, where he would come and visit your neighbor.
Yeah. My neighbor, Charlotte Austin, beautiful actress she was under contract back in the 50s when my dad was at 20th Century Fox. Beautiful actress. She was very good friends with Marlon Brando, best friends. And so when I moved to my place back in 2003, they were hanging out all the time. She'd go up to, I'm up. I went up to Marlon's last night. I played piano. He played the bongos. He said, bongos, yeah. And then I'd see him occasionally. You'd see him walking up the stairs, going over to Charlotte's, and they just had this great relationship. And what Charlotte told me that was interesting about Brando is she said that he just loved the jazz drums. If he could choose his career over again, he would have loved to have been a jazz drummer.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
He said, you could take the acting, take it or leave it, but I love the jazz drums. And I don't know how good he was at bongos. Maybe he did have a drum set, but he just loved those bongos.
Oh man, watching him like on the waterfront It's just the movies that he did when he was younger. He was so natural and so good.
Yeah,
You go, how could there be anything else that a jazz drummer, right, versus an actor? Just so good, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. And you did that, and when he passed, you helped out in his funeral.
So the next year, 2004, so I'd been living there for about a year, and Charlotte came to me and she said, could you put together a CD of his favorite music for his intimate memorial service that we had at Ca de Sol right here in Studio City? And I said, absolutely. So she brought me over these CDs and some tapes, and I transferred them all to a CD for the memorial. And it was all of his favorite Italian mandolin music.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I went, I wish I was there at the
he loved music,
ceremony.
Man. So there was something there that, it was just.
And I still have the file. I could make you a CD of it. I think I will.
Loved it. Perfect. Yeah. Please do. I play the ukulele. So
well, you know what? You can strum along with the mandolin.
I will, man.
Yeah.
I will. That's 8 strings, though, the mandolin, in a way, but doubled up, right?
Yeah, it's just 4 strings, but double.
So it's similar. I could probably play
sure.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
A 12 string is just a 6-string with double strings. You play it the same way.
Right. So, well, man, Sean, so cool that you came over and here in our podcast studio at Burbank, man. I've only had a few guys do this. You're one of them.
Great.
And it's an honor, man. And I'm so excited about you composing our film.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the gems, your music on here. All the elements are coming together, man.
Yeah, that's great.
So really looking forward to it. And thanks again, man. Let's go over to the smokehouse, have a few.
The smokehouse, absolutely.
Let's do it, man. All right, man.
All right, buddy.
Check out a collection of movies by Santo Films now streaming. This Old Cub, the critically acclaimed documentary about Ron Santo and his Hall of Fame career while battling type 1 diabetes, in a time when diabetes was unknown to most. It is available on Tubi, iTunes, and Amazon. Jake's Corner, a family drama starring Richard Tyson, Diane Ladd, and Danny Trejo. And Liar's Poker, a whodunit featuring Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Then there's Dead in 5 Heartbeats, an off-the-grid motorcycle club film with real motorcycle clubs produced by Sonny Barger Productions and Santo Films. All films were written, produced, and directed by Jeff Santo. Watch now on Tubi, iTunes, and Amazon.
Crackerjack.
This call is being recorded.
Hello, Nick Nicholson.
Oh, Jeff Santo.
Hey,
What you doing, man?
how you doing, man? You are my crackerjack call for my podcast, Peanuts, Popcorn, and Cracker Jacks.
Oh, man. Well, I feel honored,
dude.
brother.
Dude, it's been too long. I've been meaning to get you on because you're one of my favorite fucking guys I've met on my road of life. So,
Hey, you say that to all the girls.
dude, you are, man. You are. I tell you, when we met, I don't know when it was, like in 2007 or whatever. Dude, you're just one of those guys, man, that I wish I could spend more time with. And, life kind of separates people because they're in different places going after different dreams and all that. But, man, brother, our time that we spent together was a lot of fun. And I just think you're a hell of a musician, too, and singer, songwriter, and all that.
Thanks, man. I feel the same way about you and your abilities and your super team you got going on over there in California. I keep tabs on you, so.
All right, brother. I've been noticing that, Neon Grave has been put on, Facebook and the music video. It's coming back to life, which is great to see. Talk a little bit about that. Our music video that I did with you, and the song Neon Grave by David Norris, and our buddy Doug Flint was in it. And talk about that a little bit, man.
Well, it was, we're sitting on the back porch of my house in Arizona. We're all partaking in a celebration because I think it was my 40th birthday or something like that, or close to.
Yeah.
And David Norris brought it up. He's like, hey, this song I'm working on with Clay Underwood, and, I really think you should do it. And I'm like, man, I got too much twang and not enough bang on this CD. I really didn't want to cut it, And then all of a sudden, you guys are like looking at each other like, and then Jeff Santo, that'd be you, third party, says, if you shoot if you record it, I'll shoot the video. And then Doug Flint from US 107 in Parkersburg, West Virginia says, then I'll play the shit out of it. And I'm like, looked at Dave and said, and then Dave goes, I'm not going to charge you for it. I'm like, done.
Yeah, man. God, that's one of those things that, like, something like that happens, and then it happens. Like, it came to fruition, and we shot the music video up in Black Canyon City in Arizona, and what a song, though. God damn, what a song.
Yeah.
And you nailed it, and David nailed it. Really proud of that, man. That's like the only music video I did, and I just love it.
Well, me too, man. It's a great video. I mean, it's the one I'll throw out there when I drop your name, and the stuff being behind the Cubbies practice stadium, the old one, and your dad, being so close with the man with Waylon Jennings and stuff, and then we were able to master that tombstone that was flat on the ground that looked like it was straight up and down was just beyond cool, I thought, man, because I was like, how'd you do that? It looks like it's standing up.
Well, so cool, because we paid tribute to Waylon where he was buried right across the way there from the Cub Spring Training facility at the time. That was Hohokam, right? And Waylon, died of diabetes, which is crazy. The connection, and he used to go to the Cubs camp and knew my dad and all the players, and they suited him up for a couple of just practice, sessions. And that was something else, man. It all just kind of came together. So I hope for the people listening, go check out Neon Grave by Nick Nicholson on YouTube, and pretty cool video that we shot right across from Hohokam, where the Cubs trained. The other thing was like, I remember, and then we can move on from here. But as I kept walking and walking, and nobody's hollering at me, and then you're like, "Oh shit, Nick's about to cross the freeway." I was like, I was hoping you guys were going to say something. It was so funny. Oh man, it's just a cool old time song too, man. That kind of song just never dies. Like, and it's too bad it didn't get more recognition, but it's out there on video. And like I said, I just hope people get a chance to look at that more. But dude, you just had a great, you still do. I mean, you're out there. Tell me what you're doing right now, man.
I'm just, I'm really just recording songs from a couple songwriters every once in a while, just trying to, keep the itch off. Yeah. And then they'll end up doing a video, and they can sell that song using that video, which is fine. I mean, the last one I did was called "I Drink," and it's on YouTube. And
I saw that, man. Yeah, that was strong. Yeah,
that's pretty serious, compared to normal stuff, where it's all happy, you got the lake, blah blah blah. This one was kind of looking at. It's kind of like my song "Mirror Never Lies." It's kind of like you're looking at yourself here. So I'm trying to throw that back out there,
Cool.
But
cool, man.
Ed Waters is a great writer and crazy thinker. But anyway, doing that, and I also have a Creed tribute band that I'm doing, and
cool.
Which is cool. It's cool because I'm the same age as the guys in the band, and so it's
right.
So And I'm like, I always wanted to do just one genre and do a tribute, and we're just loving it. And we got a concert coming up in West Virginia this end of September, and a music festival, and we're headlining that. And we're real excited, a little nervous about it because I ain't been uptown for a while. So, but
well, dude, you did that for many years, and when we went up to Flagstaff, I remember when you were playing up there. What a time we had. I mean, I look back at those kind of times and I go, that was just, but great music too, man. I mean, you just had those places rocking, and what's that like, Nick? I know, the big dream was, to rock it the rest of your life, in country music, as directing and everything and things, you do the best you can and you just keep moving with the dream in a kind of a different way. What's that been like, man, for you on that?
It's weird. It's like I tried to get out of it. I tried to, it's like a I don't know, an obsession. I tried to quit, a couple of years ago when 2013 when I got here, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, man. I just something kept pulling me back in it, and I finally ended up meeting some really, really good musicians here in South Carolina, and they saw my vision, and I started out in rock and roll as a drummer, so I did that for a while, cover bands and this and that, and then it's like, hey, you guys want to do this? And the name of the group's Torn, and there's a lot of stuff online. It's a Creed tribute band, and we're shit. These guys are awesome. So anyway, but what was like the rip and tear? I don't know if it was the same way in the film business with you. And hi, Christie, love you, girl.
Yeah, right.
And
beautiful.
in some business with getting out of it and trying to get away from it, it's like a drug. You just can't fucking do it, man. I'm sorry if I'm cussing, but
no, it's tough, man. It's like, and it's you just don't know where it's gonna go. It's like you had everything there, and you're just like, hey, but it's it's life. Sometimes you just don't get that big break, but you love what you do, and you can feel that in every song that you sing and write and play. And, I feel that same way about films I've done, and but it's in you, and you just got to keep motoring. Now we did, I don't know if you're in Off the Boulevard, a documentary I did about our artist. I called it Off the Boulevard, a documentary, showing that how difficult it is to get on the boulevard per se. It's a lot of people are really off the boulevard for most of their lives, and the ones that cross over get a break or whatever, but the ones off the boulevard are doing it for the pure. I mean, I think everyone does it. It's in their soul to do it, but the ones that can actually make a living off of it, that's a special thing.
Me anymore, I do it just to connect. I mean, connect people to. I mean, I love the band Creed, so I'm not plugging them. I'm just saying, and I said pick one band. Hell, it could have been Ozzy Osbourne, and I would have covered him. I could sing the phone book, so it doesn't matter to me. Right. So,
totally, man. Totally. And it's kind of like, you just, where we're going now, Christie's getting into the director's chair, and I'm getting into the acting. So, which feels great for me, man. And kind of like the whole path makes sense. And that's our next journey here. We're doing Wild Ones, and
you sent me a few pictures on that, and I'm like, dude, that's a handsome man right there. I'm telling you, you look the part. I'm talking about that's my boy.
Oh, thank you. That happened later in my life, man. I just kind of fell into my place myself. So, but we're really, we're really focused and have a great team to do this. And I thought about you because you were such a big piece on the journey for me and Christie, and you were in Dead and Five, and also Off the Boulevard, and brother, I just wanted to connect, man, and see how you're doing, and just tell you that I love you.
I love you. Hey, I love you guys too. And I still remember the day y'all went on your first date. I remember.
That's right. God damn.
Isn't that
right.
crazy?
That is so crazy. Right. We met on 888, and literally, I remember I came back from, I went to a film festival for Jake's Corner. Christie and I met in the airport. She was going to San Francisco for a wedding, and I was heading to Sacramento for film festival for my film Jake's Corner, and we met in the bar. She thought I was a has-been rock star.
You should know that's Nick.
No, but I had long hair and she saw the tattoos. At first she thought I was a rock star. Then she told me later it was has-been. She threw the has-been in there. Jesus Christ. I felt still young at the time. But when I came back and I told you, I met this girl and you were playing up there in Sedona, and I took her up to see you. That was like the first date. That was amazing.
Yeah, we just kind of met up and there's nobody there but us, kind of. We all talked and it
was great. Dude, that was 17 years ago.
I don't know.
Me and
unbelievable? We've been married 30 years in a week.
Oh, that's beautiful. 30 years? That's your 30-year anniversary? Awesome, years, man. Yeah. Tell her happy anniversary. She's a sweetheart. That's amazing, man. Wow. Wow.
Pulitzer Prize or some shit.
Dude, that's great. You know, this bar opened up in Burbank down the road here. Actually, it's kind of like across the way by Disney and Universal Studios. It's called Idlewild.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Can you How about that festival? We went up to Idlewild Festival. And they got a bar here, which I thought was going to be kind of like I walk in there, feel like the mountain kind of cabin kind of bar. No, it's the complete opposite. I felt like I was walking to a sushi bar.
Wasn't that where we went to that film festival?
It was. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I was there, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That was fucking crazy.
Oh, God, for Off the Boulevard. Dude, when you drink up at that high altitude, does that kill you the next day? I mean, we had a ball. That was fun, man.
Yeah, we had a ball.
Tell me what you thought of your experience on Dead in 5 Heartbeats.
I thought my experience was great because I had never done anything like that in my life, and it just you kind of wrote me into that, and it was just like I just had to be myself basically, and I was like, okay, I got the game and with 25 pounds. You got to talk about Dan Haggerty, right? Playing opposite you. Yeah, Dan Haggerty. That blew my mind right there, And then the scene where I don't know if it's on outtakes, if y'all did outtakes or whatever. Remember we're sitting there, and I said something, and it kind of pissed him off. And he took the popcorn and threw it in my face, and you just started laughing, and I started laughing. I'm like, I just don't want this guy to punch me in the face,
Dude, he was so cool. He was so good. Like when he went off on that about what we wrote for him, that was so cool. And that was his last film he did, Dan Haggerty. Grizzly Adams. So funny. Well, not funny, but weird. Is his brother passed away that same night we filmed that scene. And oh shit, that's right.
Wasn't a few years later, man, he was gone too.
I know, man. I know. Just seems like so many. I thought he was going to be a bigger guy, and I didn't. And I thought that about Toby Keith when I met Toby Keith and did a show with him. And I'm like, I'm actually bigger than Toby Keith. Size wise is crazy. Like, you look so huge on TV, but you're smaller than me. Right, man. Well, you're a big boy, man. So come on, Nick Nicholson ain't no little boy. So shit. But anyway, man, I wanted to call you. Thank you for, being on the show. And, brother, stay in touch. You doing well out there? Everything good?
Yeah, we're doing good. We got a new store open for Lisa here in Pickens County, and she's doing great. And we've been up about 3 weeks. She's really thriving. We're on a Main Street deal, so she's humping, man. So
perfect.
Really, she's really talented. So I'm not the janitor around here, so.
Right on. You give her our love. And what's the name of your band again? The Creed band.
Creed band's name is Torn, and we got website, Facebook. Yeah, TORN.
Okay.
And we're
Right on.
fired up. So, hey, if we can get out to L.A., we're coming, man.
Beautiful. Let me know, man. Please let me know. All
I
right.
will. Love you guys. Hey, I love you guys. I'm so proud of you, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Nick Nicholson. Love you too, pal. All right. Talk to you soon, brother.
All right,
See you,
brother.
pal.
See you.
Thanks for listening to our show. Special thanks to our cool crackerjacks, Scott Nelson, Jim McCauley, Debbie Foley, Sherry Matarisi, Terry O'Brien, Gary Tallman, Anne-Marie Pascule, Jim Muleschlegel, Mac McPhillamy, Paula Conlin, and Steve Mahan. How'd you say that?
Mahone?
Steve Mahone.
I don't know. Let us know how it's pronounced. Anyways, this show is made possible because of them, so we're so thankful. And to all of our subscribers, because there are silent subscribers out there. And if you want to support the show and be a cool crackerjack yourself, subscribe on our Patreon page. You can click the link below this episode or go to the Patreon tab on our website, www.peanutspopcornandcrackerjacks.com. And you can also subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, and leave us an email. Give me your thoughts on baseball. What are you thinking when you watch baseball today and a guy can't pitch a no-hitter anymore? They take him out when they have no-hitters or any kind of consistency. They just they'll switch the lineup up because they're just told to. Tell me if you like that. Tell me, share your thoughts with us over at Peanuts, Popcorn, and Cracker Jacks. And leave a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
So for that email, it's jeff.ppcpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay. And don't hesitate to write, give us suggestions, or tell us how you like the show.
That's basically what we just said.
Oh, okay. Good. Do you want me to say it again?
No, I want you to do your closing
Okay.
quote.
For my closing quote, the crack of the bat is the sweetest sound there is. It's music. Reggie Jackson.
Toodaloo! At santofilms.com, we offer a diverse range of products, including indie films, movie posters, books, music, and related merchandise. Check out our new This Old Cub apparel and podcast merchandise. Or delve into the pages of Ravens in the Rain, a twisty tale about a woman with a past and a man with no future. Or immerse yourself in the soundtrack from the original motion picture Jake's Corner, featuring 5 original songs by B.J. Thomas and the film score by award-winning songwriter Steve Dorff. Enjoy free shipping on all orders of $40 or more. Use the code PODCAST at checkout. Support small business. Visit www.santofilms.com. And while you're there, click the link for the Ron Santo official website. We've got a retro-inspired Ron Santo fan club shirt, Ron Santo pizzeria shirts, and signature apparel. Go to www.santofilms.com.